Hello there. This is my urn, crown and sword. There's nothing wrong with it. This is all Caleb McCullough's fault. I was watching him do a haunting video just a few minutes ago and realized it had been terribly long since I'd done anything like this. So I just want to push some mud across a stone and enjoy that. And if you want to come along with me, please do. If I might not do a lot of talking, but you know me, I'm kind of mouthy. But if you want to come along, that's fine. I appreciate it. If you don't, I understand as well. I don't know how great this video will be. I haven't done it in a long time. This is a vintage conical that I found and restored. I paid $6 for it. It was split in half down the seam, and I re-glued it and cleaned it up and all of that. This is a Tomo that a good friend of mine gave me that I'm going to use to raise a slurry on this. And then, of course, I have my black arc that I'm going to post-finish this razor on. We might get to that in this video, and we might not. It all depends. It all depends. I don't need much of a slurry on here. Like I said, we're not really having to do much of anything to this blade. I just want to hone something. So I hope that everyone is doing well. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not. This is going to take a slight roll, I think. But it's been raining all day here, and they're calling for it to rain like a stuck pig tonight. So it's rained more here in the last couple of months, rain or snow. Although we haven't got a whole lot of, I'm talking March and April, not April and May. We just rolled into May, so when I say the last couple of months, I'm not counting May. But I mean, in March and April, we had enough snow and enough rain. But, you know what? I'm not the one in charge. And we can say what we want about what we would like and all that. I can tell you that. If we get what they forecast for tonight, I will sleep well. Because I love the sound of rain on a tin roof when I'm trying to sleep. Now I'm using a slight rolling X, very slight. I don't even know if you could see it. And I'm using a bit of forward torque, in other words, toward the edge. I'm using a bit of torque toward the edge. I'm not lifting the blade spine off of the stone, but I'm using a bit of torque. I love sharpening and honing. I've been really busy. I haven't been on the shaving forums and the groups on Facebook an awful lot when it comes to shaving. My shaving videos slowed down for a while, but I'm hoping that I can remedy that, or I plan to remedy that. But I'm building guitars. I have 2 in the build process right now. I just finished an electric, and I'm in the beginning stages of another electric build. And of course I have an acoustic build that I have been working on for a while, but I need to do some work on it that will require it to spend some time out in our shed. And you might say, well, it's May, because I'm looking at temperatures at night. And with the thin woods on an acoustic guitar, you've got to be really careful with cold, or hot for that matter. And you might say, well, it's May now. Well, there's forecasting 26 degrees for tomorrow night's low. So every time I think that I might be able to go ahead and start back on that acoustic, little Miss Virginia pops this stuff up on me. And I realize it's not quite time yet. But yeah, that kind of stuff. And I did a little bit of photography. They're all things that I love. I had someone who was a subscriber a couple of years ago. She subscribed to me because she said that I was a Renaissance man. Okay. In other words, that I had a great many I had a great many interests, and that were greatly varied, and all of that kind of thing. And I don't know, I appreciate that, but I'm just an average guy that enjoys an awful lot of different things. And sometimes I get caught up in 1 or 2 of those things that I love, and it takes precedent over everything else. And lately, the thing that I've been hung up in, and I'm going to continue pushing that as much as I can, because I've been doing it 12 years, and it's something that I absolutely love, is guitar building. So as much as is in me, and as much ability that I have with it, I'm going to continue that. But this channel is not going away. I just haven't had, that's like knife sharpening. I haven't done a knife sharpening video in so long, it's not even funny. And I miss that too, but to be quite honest, I'll continue to do them off and on. But the purpose that I had with knife sharpening videos is to show people that you can sharpen freehand with a stone and put a really nice edge on your knife. You are fully capable of doing that. It is not difficult. And I have passed on the basics of knife sharpening in the videos that I already have up. Over and over again, I've gone over the principles. And anybody that wants to learn freehand knife sharpening, those videos are there, okay? They're not going anywhere. And I hope that, like has happened over time with this channel, that there will be many, many more people that are exposed to that and learn, and that my videos will continue to teach people, because that's really, honestly, that is what I am, as a teacher of one sort or another, and I have been for most of my life. And I hope to continue. I already know that this has got a scalding edge on it. Let me finish off on this caulicle. I'm using light strokes now. I really wasn't using a lot of heavy strokes anyway. I was using just a light bit of torque, because the edge didn't need it. I wasn't bringing an edge back from not being shave ready or anything of the sort. I'm just kind of, I don't even know if you would call it a refresh, but I'm sort of pushing or boosting this edge a bit. That's what I would call it anyway. Bit of tissue. That is flipping lovely. So we're going to switch to the Arkansas, and just plain water, which is what I was using before. And actually, I'm going to try something. I know that this is this puts a really nice edge on a knife, because this little tomo, because I used it to do that. And you can say, well, that's really tiny. There is a video of me sharpening a razor with that little tomo on this channel, and it puts a slamming edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come off the cotty, which might have had some of that in it. This is probably a lot harder than that cotty is, but I haven't tested them, so I don't know. The cotty very well could be harder than that. But I'm just gonna try this because I want to. Nothing. I mean, I don't even know when or if I'll be able to shave with this, the way that my hands are. And if you follow my channel, you know I have ongoing issues with my hands. But anyway, I really don't want to dwell on that, but I've been doing a lot more DE shaves and stuff like that, because it's not been, when my hands tremble, it's not very safe to use a straight. So I have to pick times when I can, and I don't know the next time that'll be, or whether I'll remember this urn or not. Just flat out, that's the way that is. But I have the stones. I love them. I love this right here. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And the Black Arkansas, I don't consider the Black Arkansas a finisher. I generally do what used to be called, I don't know what the jargon is now, but it used to be called post finishing a couple years ago. And it's where you come off of a finisher like that Cotty or like a J-Nat, and you go to a higher grade stone or higher grit stone. At the time, a 15K was something that people went to in the synthetic crowd. Now 15K is just considered basically a finishing stone to a lot of people. So whatever the jargon is, but I have yet to put an edge, a well honed edge, one that's properly honed to shave ready, not one you think is shave ready, but one that you ticked all the boxes on, starting with a bevel set, all the way through to finish. I've never yet put a good quality finished edge on a black Arkansas and not had it improve that edge. So that's enough of that. What we're gonna do now is rinse this off again so that I get all of that off so that I got all of that slurry off of there and wipe the blade. So now what we're going to do is we're going to post finish on this Arkansas. Very light passes, and I am using a slight bit of rolling X just like I was in the beginning. If it requires a rolling X in every other step, it requires one on the finishing hone, and it requires one on a post finishing hone, in my experience. This is a gorgeous stone. I use plain water on a true hard, a black, a translucent, anything like that, that is meant to be a true finisher in the Arkansas world. Some people use soap and water. I use soap and water on Arkansas below this grade because I think they work well that way. Other people would use oil. It's all in what you know, but I have not found on one of these stones that oil gives me anywhere near as keen or smooth of an edge as plain water does. So that's what I use. But the thing of it is, when you start talking about honing, it's always going to come down to your experiences and what you like. And what I say is, in a large part, yes, there's experience. I have some experience in razor honing. But my opinions and my preferences are just that. They're mine. They're my opinions. They're my preferences. It doesn't mean that they're going to fit everybody. And it doesn't mean that my way is the only way. It just means that they are my opinions and my preferences formed by my experiences. Are they without worth? I don't believe so. There have been a lot of people over the years that have said to me, you taught me how to hone a razor. So, you know, that little bit of success for me, and it's not little to me, the idea that I was able to even teach one person how to get a shaving edge on a straight razor that is comfortable, that they love to shave with and all of that, to me that's big for me. And not meaning that it makes me big, but it's a big personally a big accomplishment for me that I could help someone. Same thing with pretty much everything that I do here on YouTube. If I could help somebody learn how to build guitars, if I can help somebody learn how to sharpen a knife or shave or, you know, anything. I've even got old videos that show you how to restore a fountain pen. Stuff like that, you know. Anything that people are interested in, if I can help them learn how to do it and help them to understand that, yes, you can do it. There's a friend of mine, Caleb McCullough, the fellow that I mentioned when at the opening of this video, and he has a term, and that's killing my hand. That's one of the reasons I haven't done this as much, and one of the reasons I'm not sharpening as much, because it involves a great deal of pain. But he has a saying that, and I'll probably butcher it, but you can learn anything if you really want to grok it. Now, that's a term that means if you really want to grab hold of it and understand it and achieve it. And you can. For the most part, there is nothing out there, if you become interested in it, that you cannot learn to do. Now, will you become a master? Well, that depends, you know. That depends on how much effort you put into it, how eager you are to learn it, how much I think that you have to love something in a lot of ways in order to truly become refined in doing it, no matter what it is. But you can. And there is so much more information out now than there ever was before. When I was a boy, if you wanted to learn something, you had to either find somebody that knew what you needed to know and convince them to teach it to you, or you had to find a book and try to figure out, you know, what that book is really saying and what it's not saying behind the line or between the lines and stuff like that, because there's a lot about everything that you can't really be taught. It comes through experience and through observation and beginning to understand. Man, I just flipped that over. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I just flipped that over to hone, and that flipping bevel. That's beautiful. I think, because I can feel on this stone that it is basically, there's absolutely zero resistance on this stone now. I think we're done. So, appreciate you coming along. Later.